For the shows with a shared universe, producers organize crossovers pretty often, like Law & Order and One Chicago, but for others, such crossovers occur rarely. Same is the case with the NCIS franchise on CBS. But there have been rumors of possible crossovers between NCIS shows, so is it really happening? Stick with us to find out what producers have to say, as well as other shocking news about the series. First off, is a three-way NCIS crossover really happening? We have some good news for NCIS fans. They might be in for a treat during the next phase of the NCIS franchise. Back in March, CBS announced that NCIS was going to be renewed for a 20th season. Besides this, they also announced that NCIS Los Angeles will be back for a 14th season, and NCIS Hawaii will also return for a second season. This news was definitely exciting for the fandom, but what's even more exciting is that the producers of the three shows are in serious talks to have a three-way crossover, and it's been reported that the crossover will finally happen during the show's 2023 run. Well, the show has been going strong for over 2 decades now, and there are no signs of it slowing down anytime soon. The anticipation for a three-way crossover was already in full swing when NCIS Hawaii debuted, but the news of the crossover between the mother show with Hawaii earlier this year further added fuel to the fire. Set to debut in September, we'll get to see Katrina Law's Jessica Knight and Wilmer Valderrama's Nick Torres go to the Aloha State to team up with Vanessa Lachey's Tennant. The producers are very optimistic about it, and everyone appears to have a lot of fun making it. And given that NCIS Los Angeles is also much loved among the fans have started an enthusiastic campaign on social media about all three shows crossing over with each other. Now, here's what the producers have to say. It looks like the fans' hard work is going to be rewarded soon, as the producers seem optimistic about the crossover. The NCIS LA producer, R. Scott Gemmell, said in an interview that the producers of the three franchises sat down and had a candid talk about the crossover. He said that if they were going to do a crossover for all three series, it'd all come down to a matter of logistics. At this point, they don't want to do another crossover episode between just 2 shows because a three-way crossover sounds more exciting. Scott further added that showrunners of the 3 shows are definitely up for it, but practically pulling it off seems to be the bigger question. Well, it's true that organizing everything would be the most difficult part, as they are filming NCIS Hawaii's on an island. Therefore, the crossover between the original show and Hawaii was quite easy to manage due to the smaller cast size. But everything needs to be handled more carefully when it comes to 3 series, so the producers are still figuring it out. Besides this, NCIS Hawaii producer Jan Nash also gave green light to it, saying that the chances for this big crossover are high, as producers are well aware of how much the fans were enthusiastic about the latest crossover with the original show. On top of this, he also said that such projects are really fun for the cast as well as the producers. He seems pretty content with how the Hawaii's and NCIS crossover has turned out. After all, just the announcement had a huge impact on the show's rating. So according to him, this won't be the last time he'll get to see our favorite characters travel across the NCIS universe. Now that everyone's down for it, we just have to wait and hope everything goes smoothly. And here's why the crossover was difficult to pull off in the past. Well, the only justification we can come up with is the major production challenges that the producers of the shows have to face. Crossovers between NCIS and NCIS Los Angeles have happened several times in the past, as the 2 shows are filmed pretty close to each other. So everything comes down to NCIS Hawaii in the big picture. It's definitely not easy for the showrunners to bring all the characters together, especially when they have to work out the schedule of the actors and the crew. That's why we've only seen major crossovers happen between 2 shows in the past, as it involves working out with a handful of characters as compared to bigger cast size for a bigger crossover. You can't deny that even 2-way crossovers are pretty hard to organize, as the producers and writers have to make sure that they can keep the soul of the original series intact while adding something exciting and fun to the mix. Besides this, there may also be syndication issues that prevent this from happening, as the viewers may get confused with all these repeats. For example, if the channel owns the syndication rights to the original show and not for the others, it can only be allowed to air one part of the crossover. Therefore, it gets quite difficult in the long run, but it really feels like the right time for the producers to make this bold move. To be honest, it's the right time. Now that producers are down for it, it seems like the perfect time to pull off this crossover. Given that CBS has never done a crossover between 3 shows, don't you think it'll generate a lot of buzz and viewership for the show and the channel? This feels like a great way and right time to invigorate all the show's fans. Besides this, there have been rumors of some actors planning on leaving the franchise after such a long run. Wouldn't it be a great way to give them a final goodbye by making them interact with the characters of all 3 shows? It's high time the producers make this happen in the upcoming season. Now, let's talk about other exciting news about the series. series. First off, here's what we know about Season 20 so far. Just like the previous seasons, Season 20 of the show is going to be released in September this year. The only exception for this rule happened back in 2020 for the Season 18, as the production was impacted due to COVID-19 pandemic. As for the cast and characters, we have no official source on any of the cast members leaving, although there have been rumors of some actors planning on doing so. Similarly, CBS hasn't said anything on the regular cast, but what's been confirmed so far is that Mark Harmon will continue to be the producer for the show, even though we aren't sure on whether or not he'll make a guest appearance as Gibbs during the season. When it comes to the plot, we know Season 19 ended on a cliffhanger when Parker's ex-wife, Vivian, gets kidnapped. So the team goes to Frank Ressler's house where they find him dead. Turns out, they learn that someone is framing Parker for the murder. But that doesn't help as forensic reports find Parker's skin under Ressler's nails, indicating he was at the scene. So you can expect this storyline to play a bigger role in the upcoming season. Next up, is Wilmer Valderrama leaving the show? We know that in the upcoming seasons of NCIS Hawaii, we'll get to see Wilmer Valderrama's character, Agent Nick Torres, travel to the island. But fans have discovered a major clue, which leads to everyone believing that his character may be killed off after a fatal shooting. In fact, we've been getting possible hints at Agent Nick's time coming to a possible end during the past few seasons. For example, we saw him starting to push his friends away and completely isolate himself from socializing. As if this wasn't strange enough, we also got to learn that he was struggling with mental health issues after being put on an undercover mission for a case. On top of this, he had a heartbreaking goodbye with Eleanor after they finally had their first kiss, and then he was devastated by Gibbs' departure, who was always looked up to as a father figure. So yeah, who knows? Maybe he'll end up leaving the show soon? The signs are definitely all there. And finally, Chris O'Donnell opens up about when his wife got him fired from the show. Chris stars on NCIS LA as G. Callan. He's also helped direct a number of episodes. Although his character has no family ties, the actor has pretty much made his entire family appear in front of the camera. Recently, he talked about how casting his wife didn't really go well, and the story is actually hilarious. What happened was they were shooting a scene where a guy comes and opens fire at a restaurant, and everyone panics. But everyone on the production was stunned when a group of girls entered the scene laughing hysterically. The DP came to Chris to talk about it, and Chris had to stand there saying, "That's my wife, we'll handle this." Well, it's safe to say he wasn't going to get fired just because of his wife laughing during an intense scene, and he did have a talk with her and her friends. The show must go on, wife on set or not. At least they got a hilarious story out of the whole incident. Are you excited for the upcoming seasons of the NCIS show? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more amazing and exciting videos like this. See you in the next one.